You might have heard, I know Mike was talking about this earlier, at least 27 protesters from the environment group Insulate Britain were arrested today while blocking the roads to Parliament Square. You can see some of this footage now. The Met Police confirmed all were detained for public order offences after dozens of activists held up traffic outside Westminster draped in high-vis jackets. The group has returned to the roads over the last few weeks, urging the government to boost insulation across British homes to ease energy bills and combat climate change. They've now taken their grievances to politicians pictured holding aloft banners and gluing themselves to the tarmac. I don't want to even interview these people any longer, to be honest. I mean, we can see the images and see what they're doing. I mean, you kind of get a bit of a taster of the kind of characters we're dealing with, often just by looking at the antics and sometimes, dare I say it, the hairstyles. But nonetheless, we've sort of found ourselves in a curious place in our evolution where we've given this a bit of a tacit green light. I was delighted to see that the police had arrested 27 people because we haven't heard this enough. In fact, we've seen the very opposite. People glued to the M25 being asked if they fancy a cup of tea quite often. And every now and again, you do have a story that crosses the news radar that carries on for a number of weeks, and you sort of lose sight with the basic kernel of the story. And this is one of them. Just take a step back a second and just ponder and digest, soak in, like that, what is going on. Some people who have a different opinion to you have decided to glue themselves to Her Majesty's highways and stop traffic, including emergency vehicles. I mean, there was some great footage I saw yesterday of one of the protesters saying, there's a man in this car, he's sick and needs to get to hospital, to which the protester said, if he's sick, he shouldn't be driving. And the guy said, he's the passenger, you idiot. Another bit of footage today, a man saying that we're trying to get a sick baby to hospital, a fire engine trapped, an ambulance trapped. How much more evidence before these halfwits get it into their head that they can have their opinion, but they cannot impede everyday life? And you know what? With these people, when you put to them the issue of the emergency vehicles and people could die or people are in great distress, it doesn't cut any mustard at all. Their point is, well, many more people will die if you don't do what we're asking. And they are literally asking for a policy that no government on earth has adopted, whether it's just stop oil or insulate every single home, to their reckoning and their liking. And I bet they don't really know the finer detail of the science and what is required and the costs involved, etc. There is no country on earth, all of those countries that have the most left-wing governments that you would imagine are pretty much embroidered in to these kind of debates. I'm thinking of you, Jacinda, who drove past my house the other day. I'm not making that up. The Prime Minister of New Zealand drove past my house. The motorcade went past. We've even got footage of it as well. Stopped by the police. Hang on, sir, someone's coming past. Jacinda Ardern? Coming past my... How very dare she? If anyone was going to adopt it, Jacinda would have done. What's his face? Dodge Pop McDougall, Trudeau in Canada. If anyone was going to go, yeah, these guys are right, he would be doing it. So I would put it gently to Just Stop Oil and Insulate Britain and all of the others in similar areas. What do you think you know that those people don't? Ask yourself why not one single government has implemented the views you hold. And that might well give you the answer. I can understand why Victor in Hungary isn't implementing it. There's plenty of other governments that sympathise very much with the green agenda and shout from the rafters. But they ain't doing what you're asking. Maybe, just maybe, you have got it wrong. I would suggest you probably have. Thoughts on that? 0344 499 1000.